joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV 15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Day. Okie dokie, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news of, there's a lot, so we're going to take it into strides. I know that in this day and age, many people do want to know what is happening when it comes to the government of St. Martin. The Council of Ministers press briefing took place on Wednesday. Plus, I noticed that video is already circulating of the different clips that took place. Batman decided to reach to the Council of Ministers finally after election took place on the 19th of August. He went and took a vacation. He came back. And he came back as Bruce Wayne because this man was a spoiled child at the Council of Ministers press briefing. Now, I'm going to set it up so that you can understand what took place. Basically, Batman was just doing what he needs to do as a Minister of Justice until a new Minister of Justice is appointed by the coalition that he is not a part of. The Daily Herald ask him a question, which is, Minister, it seems that you have a lot of support all over, on the internet, on your phone, on your people calling you, people on the street telling you, Batman, you're doing a great job. I think you should stay as Minister of Justice. Batman's response was the following.
Yes, Minister, there seems to be widespread support for you maintaining the position of Minister of Justice. All over social media, people are expressing that. I would like to know, were you at any stage involved in the negotiations or the discussions for the formation of a new government? And what do you plan to champion once you enter Parliament?
Okay. Bibi, Judy, the press.
I'm Batman, bitch.
I am overwhelmed with that support.
I'm Batman, bitch.
Not only through social media, but also with the thousands, I kid you not.
Thousands, Lyndon, thousands. Maybe you get 100 messages, hundreds messages. Thousands of messages for you to stay. You get 400 votes. Thousands? It's not a little bit too much. Otherwise, you would have received thousands of votes. I just say it. Sorry, continue. Sorry, Pete.
Not messages that I cannot get to, but I can just scroll through and just see, Minister, we need you back. I will say this, I think I'm the first minister ever, our first politician ever, to get overwhelming support of the country to sit in a seat to govern. My current coalition, basically broad-based.
Wait. You cannot say that you're the first politician in a minister's seat that want people to continue. That's why you got so much votes. Yeah, you got a lot of votes. But look, Messerina got votes. He got 1,315 to be exact. 1,315, Lyndon. 400. I don't know. The Joker beat you in this one. I'm just saying. The Joker beat you in this one. Sorry, let's continue. Sorry, my bad.
The reason it is, they have left me out, but the people of this country is getting smarter day by day. When I go into Parliament, I'm already studying the rules of order. I'm not going to put myself in no position that I'm not going to know about. The government will have a problem with this member of Parliament if their work is not being fruitful. because there will be a next election. And especially if you put somebody in the Ministry of Justice that cannot perform, you're going to kill your entire political career because Mr. Lewis is going to be a member of parliament. Understand, kid you not, people want me to be in a position, but understand the power of being an elected official, that I won't only touch base on justice. I will touch base on who is the Minister of Rummy, who's the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, who's the Minister of TIAT, VSA, or even the Prime Minister or General Affairs. And it's not personal. If the current coalition that is going to come, that left me out, is doing a great job, anything that they want be supported in Parliament, this Member of Parliament will support it. I do not play politics with people's lives.
You said you were left out, but were you at any stage?
Again, I just said I was left out.
Don't ask him no question, he's Batman.
So
you were not
meaning
involved
I was never invited to have a conversation. And some would say, oh, but after election night, I heard you were in the company of the up party. People, I don't see political party colors. Omar Otley did give me a call, but if people would know further, my mother is an Otley. Okay, I am a Otley. And if anyone wants to speak to me, whether being in politics or business or those from the block, I will have that conversation with them. My loyalty lies with my country. After election, I don't see political colors. I see a group of people that has the mandate to move this country forward. And I am one of those individuals. Yeah, my attendance wasn't great in the Council of Ministers. But any one of them can tell you, I'm the only minister that has stacks of files, also when I'm sitting in the Council of Ministers, reviewing and making decisions on behalf of the people of this country. That is my job. My job cannot be in meetings continuously that is not being fruitful. So if today I am being denied to serve my country for that, then it's okay. Because any capacity or any position that I've served as a legal advisor for 3 ministers before, any capacity that you put Lyndon Lewis in, he will perform.
You sound very hurt by this.
It is not even hurt, it's the disrespect.
Okay.
It is called disrespect because up to today, I also learned from a group of people that met with the Prime Minister up to this morning, and the Prime Minister told them, I did not declare independence. What is that? I'm telling you, I do not play politics. The people made their decision from 176 votes just in January to 440-something votes. And I tell people, $0. $0. I didn't have to give no one not even $1. I didn't even have to campaign. You know why? Because my work spoke for itself. I also mentioned in the Council of Ministers before, if we stop thinking about elections and work for this country, our work will surpass in votes than any other person outside trying to come in. That is the reason why the people then made their decision at the polls. Again, it is not that I'm hurt of becoming the Minister of Justice again. That's what the people want. I should never want to be in office more than the people want me to be. They made their voice very loud. And if the current coalition refuse to continue the way that we started, because we did not have our 4 years, if you tell me I want to make that decision after, it's okay. But right now, this is dirty politics, and I will say it publicly. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, members of the media.
Whoa. The passive aggressiveness is surreal. Batman, the man basically had a roast of this Council of Ministers during this particular press briefing. And the thing is, it's like Judy set up the question so nice. He was ready to go. It's like, hey, Minister, how do you feel not being the next Minister of Justice? The man was like, I waited for this all my life. Let's go. Look, Messalina, it's no good. The rest of the Council of Ministers thinks I'm lazy, but I'm the best. That's why I go into Parliament, bitch. I going to be the biggest and best and the baddest parliamentarian opposition in St. Martin history, and nobody could stop me because you can't fire a parliamentarian. But you know who you can fire? A minister. I'm Batman, bitch. He was ready. It's like he was. You see the stance? Pete, please. He was like, and Luke and all the other ministers had to be there going like, so we can't stop him. Oh yeah, he's a minister. Shit. He giving us too much licks. And of course, now the whole other coalition, the PFP, DP, and the Eurasem going like, they're now being salty. Yeah. Yeah. Because the Justice Ministry finally received a minister that, I don't know, what's the word? Words? Doesn't have to go and get familiar and do tours and going like, oh, so this is the Customs Department. Oh, shiny. Oh, this is the Coast Guard. Can I go on the boat? Yay. Or better yet, oh, the police station. Can I hold a gun? Oh, okay, bad boys. What you gonna do? We ride together. No, we ain't dying. No, we're not doing that together. But you get the gist. Batman has no problem going into the whole parliamentary role. He is very thankful. You see, I have to translate for that spoiled kid, because you see how the way he spoke there? That's just Lyndon, guys. That's just Minister of Justice. That's Batman. He just speak. Everything that comes to mind, he just goes. I'm Batman, bitch. Look at my shoes. And look at the suits I got in France, which is now going to be a waste because now I have to wear these suits into Parliament. He's going to be the best dressed parliamentarian. Now I have to look for a whole other name. Nah, he's going to be Batman. Batman, bitch, in Parliament. Boom. That's what I do it. In other news. So a couple of years ago, there was a pastor, and I don't know if you remember Pastor Bell, one of the churches, can't remember the church, and he gave a sermon on a Sunday that caused a serious situation in St. Martin. And the sermon was pretty interesting because he basically, and I'm paraphrasing, Pastor, so don't send me to hell, but the sermon was basically, because we have lesbians that is running the country, we are going to go down. Yeah, and we have lesbians and LGBTQ in our fabric of government, and therefore that's why we're suffering as a society. So therefore, we need to take them out in order for us to grow. Well, Pastor Bell did a follow-up interview this week on Wendell Moore. And of course, did he gloat? I don't know, because God would be very disappointed. But the fact that Silveria is not there anymore, he was like, divine intervention? Uh-huh. No, I'm just saying, I don't know who was in charge of that aspect, but he is happy that St. Martin is waking up. So instead of two lesbians, you got one. I should really let Mr. Bell talk. Let's let Pastor Bell talk. Sorry.
Forecasting. So yes. They were forecasting the future on a board while the company is going into bankruptcy. So I looked at it and I asked them what they were doing, so they explained it to me. And then I smiled and he looked at me and said, Mr. Bell, why are you smiling? I said nothing. So I went in and I spoke to my supervisor and I said, can you imagine that they are making decisions on forecasting for the company, but they're not taking care of our day-to-day operations? How can you have a future and you're not dealing with what we're doing daily? Mm-hmm. Same thing with us here, with government. It's going to take a government with conviction to know that there's something we probably have to stop doing. There's something that we have to say that this is not important right now. We have to correct some things in our nation. If you do so, it can be called a political suicide. But you have to do it so we can fix our infrastructure, so we can make sure our schools are properly maintained and taken care of. There's a lot of things that needs to be. But we don't have that courage and that strength to do those things. And I have to say this so I don't ever forget it. St. Martin, people wake up. The LGBTQ thing, again, is very serious. I'm concerned also for our teachers that have conviction concerning this thing being wrong. It's going to be forced upon them or they will lose their jobs. I'm very serious about this because in Curaçao it happened that when they passed the law concerning the same-sex marriage, those working in the civil service area who said that we can't do this, they said, well, you're going to have to be removed from your position because it's like they didn't have a choice. Or even though there were those who were working in the same department who said that they don't have a problem doing it. So why are you coming against those because of their faith?
But if it's law, Pastor Ben, they will have to go ahead and do it.
You see, and I understand, and that's another thing why I'm saying to Christian believers now, your conviction matters. I believe that every spiritual leader must be accountable first to God and to the people that he's ministering to.
Yes.
Because we are not just preaching a word, but we are living it. You see, and I live the word. We who are leaders, we have to live this life, and there's going to be, we could go through some painful experiences because desires that we have, wants that we have to lay them aside.
Okay, so in your view, if we are screwed in terms of the foundation that we set and the examples that we demonstrate, which may bring upon us some sort of judgment, ultimately your message is judgment, or you call it a storm as well? Because a storm for us is very easily identified as a hurricane.
Because we have been. But the storm is more than a hurricane.
It don't necessarily have to be a hurricane.
Yes.
But a judgment can come in many forms.
I believe that we are already seeing probably in a lesser level, judgment already coming upon the earth. We see it in the sexual revolution. We see it again. LGBTQ will fall under that. It's agenda that is being, expanding more and more. We see it, and the violence that political leaders are openly. I look at the DNC convention in the U.S. and I saw things that let's say 40 years ago America would never accept, but because of how slick they are and how smooth they are, it's like this is the new way of life.
It's embraced. It's embraced.
It's embraced. Yes. All of those things are subtle judgment because we don't realize how eventually big it gets and how acceptable and lawful it gets that eventually men will not repent.
Let's take a commercial break. I think he lifted up the program. Holy water, are you? Holy water. We'll be right back.
New Gen. She my gang. Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? When we come in our bed, tick tock, girl, wine to your head. Anytime you see the girl, you want to get wet. Burn like a cigarette, bend down like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Burn like a cigarette, bend down like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Everybody get mad.
Great job, Carl. Thank you. Jeremy, come on up. For the final word in the Spelling Bee Championship, please spell insurance.
Insurance. N-A-G-I-C-O. Insurance.
That's correct. I hope your father can spell Nagico too.
Nagico is insurance. Insurance is Nagico.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry departments, respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on two major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
Okay, so something I started on Facebook when Sylvia Jacobs, the former leader of the National Alliance, I never thought I would say those words. Let me say that again. So remember Sylvia Jacobs, the former leader of the National Alliance, and also going to be a former member of Parliament? Times do really change. And they have this guy who dressed up like a woman who walks everywhere. It's really a hoot on my Facebook page. It's actually like a long-standing joke because he have hundreds of video, Sylvia. So we're gonna take a ride. Anyway, so Pete, I want you to make a compilation. So I got like 3 videos so far, and I want you to like put it together. And we're gonna walk with Sylvia because she's on vacation right now. And because she's on vacation right now, we have to make sure pay homage to her and her walking, everywhere. So let's go. Okay, I got done one of these days. I just say I gonna be done one of these days. The Police Union of St. Martin, NRPB. I should not say the Police Union. I should say the Justice Union of St. Martin, NRPB, decided to have elections this upcoming Friday. Justice workers, hear me and hear me now. There are 2 candidates. 2 candidates that we have to look for. I did an interview with them. Sit down, relax, pick your candidate. Because this upcoming Friday, there's elections for the NRPB. Sit down, interview with them right here. Exclusive for the late night show. Let's go. All right, we're here with the Police Union. You watch that camera. please. Tell us a little bit about what the NRPB has been going on so far.
Okay, we'll start. Good afternoon, good evening to your followers, media, Mr. Andrew. Thank you once more to have us in on your platform. NWB, we're here this afternoon actually to enlighten you, promote our election that is this Friday, the 6th of September. Dates were chosen. It will be a very important day actually for me because that will be my birthday. So on my birthday, the 6th of September, NFPB will have its presidential election whereby the members them can elect their president. And the ones that who are running is again me. I'm going to be for re-election, and I have my comrade, Mr. Marcus Pantoflet, who also will be running against me this time. So I endorse him for us to have this going to see if the members are maybe are tired of me, or they want new blood running. So that's why Mr. Marcus Pantoflet is also running in order for us to have this nice interaction for the members, for them to decide this upcoming Friday who they want to be next president, or if they want me to continue with the job. Mr. Marcus will tell you where we're going to have the polling stations and what time is the voting time, and also who the ones them that can be voting.
Okay.
Once again, Andrew, thank you for allowing us to use this platform to get this information out. As Mr. Mauricio mentioned, we have elections on Friday, upcoming Friday. We have 2 polling stations. One is in the police station in Phillipsburg. The next polling station is in the substation in Simpson Bay. And the times are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
So,
now, 2 candidates. Let's look back on your presidency, Mr. Mauricio. Are you satisfied with your term? And is there anything that you could have done different?
Well, satisfied, you really not, because in the first 3 years, you cannot have everything done. And once the way has been paved for things to move on, like we said, as phase 1, which was already paved by the former Minister of Justice, Ms. Anna, finish up our function book enacted on February. Now phase 1.
I felt that overpowered your entire presidency, the function book.
Yeah, because I had spent so much energy and to be back and forth. Yeah, but to me, that back and forth for me now is sit and reflect back. It is just a learning moment for me, and also I believe to the former minister. Nevertheless, she get it done, and once she get it done, for me it also done that part. And now for us to continue rolling out the decrease them for the workers them. I might say that at this time it's a kind of hold up, and I hope that the sitting minister still will finish it up so we can go to phase 2 for the members. And that is all in favor of the members, because really and truly some of them really need their degree in order for them to living standard can be adjusted. So they can continue waiting for phase 2 to start.
Mr. Manipulak, what makes you different to the style of presidency?
Okay, well, Mr. Mauricio, he mentioned already the way is pretty much paved. I find that I would be bringing a newer aspect to unionism. I also am championing to change the dynamic a little bit with certain aspects. For instance, I want to have more informative meetings with the members. I'm championing unity. So not some members have the impression that the union is just for police, but I want everybody to know it's for all law enforcement officers that are part of this union. So that is what I am championing.
as far as the recruitment process is concerned for the membership, you
Mhm.
just mentioned the same thing. People always assume, only police officers are the ones that are unionized, but how would you bring the level of interest up for those that want to actually unionize, or at least understand the importance of being unionized?
And that is where the aspect of informing them comes into play. So,
Now, 55 years. There's an anniversary from the NRPB.
Before we go into that anniversary of NFPB, I also would like to commend my board of NFPB, Mr. Andrew, because I really have this important message to give through, and finally that NFPB is allowed as a member in the CCSU. So therefore, that was a very great news that we understood also yesterday from the Prime Minister, who decided that the importance and also respecting the ILO rules of unionism to allow NFPB to be part of the CCSU, whereby they can, talk about and defend benefit for the members. So I'm very proud to announce also that is also one of the satisfaction that I have for the 6 years that I had run into the board for NFB as president. And to me, when I got the news yesterday, it was a very, very big news. And Mr. Marcus also now is hearing about it. And to the members, congrats to you all, because without your input of being members, just like Mr. Marcus put it just now, to NFPB, it made realize that NFPB also have to be in the CCSO platform. So very, very thanks to you all, and congratulations to the members of NFPB. Coming back to what you are referring about the 55 years of NFPB, yes, we gonna try to do it simultaneously as Curacao is gonna be celebrating it. The intention was actually for NFPB St. Martin to go down Curacao and do the celebration, but during our meeting that we had in Aruba, we decided, while you celebrating there, I cannot leave my members alone here. We want to simultaneously celebrating also here in St. Martin, and also recognize some pillars from NFPB since 10-10-10 coming up. That is the intention for us to be celebrating our 55 years together with Sister Union Curacao, NFPB.
No, as the dust settles when it comes to the elections, Mr. Van Vleck, with the coming of the new governing term taking place, the Ministry of Justice it looks like the spotlight continues to shine on the ministry. However, as far as getting the attention that it needs, looks like many justice workers are a bit concerned about whoever will take up the mantle of justice next, especially with a new party that has been given that portfolio. Your thoughts, or at least so what are the members' sentiments so far as to the new Minister of Justice when that person is selected?
well, I've had a conversation with quite a few of members and colleagues as well, and they are championing. They are for the current Minister of Justice, Mr. C.J. Lewis, Lyndon C.J. Lewis. My personal belief is that whoever is being placed there, they have some large shoes to fill. They have to hit the ground running. There's no time for tours and getting abreast of the situation. They just have to know what they have to do and just do it accordingly.
So you believe that it has to be somebody from within?
I believe that it has to be someone with a serious knowledge of justice and what the justice personnel have been through and what they need and so forth.
Piggybacking on that, Mr. Mauricio, so that means that somebody that would have justice in mind, so not necessarily just a particular sector, but everyone in mind. Is that hard to find? You notice? Because I mean, look how long we haven't had anybody that has been nominated as far as we know.
Mr. Andre, I have to answer you. It looked like it's hard to find because for 15 years, every time when election is called, election is finished, government is formed, government fall, justice is the one that always come back, never done. You understand? So that's why I have to answer that it's looked like it's hard to find. And we hope, for sure, I hope that this time people really, or whoever is chosen, really, like Mr. Marcus said, have the knowledge of what they come in to do, know the task that they put themselves upset, and also, and just do it. Make sure you have people that can advise you wisely, and just do what you're supposed to be done. I mean, there is nothing else to invent. Everything is there. You just follow the book, follow the rules, and it will be just fine.
Does the Justice Ministry, and as the union, you should be able to tell us, is there still a lot of issues that still need to be addressed, Mr. Maurice, besides the function?
Yes, it's a lot of issues still have to be addressed, and I can tell you one for sure. And I hope nobody feel that I step on the toe. Before election, everybody had wanted this security. And the first place that they reached was by KPSM. KPSM, just for them to know, before happening was going on, had already prepared strategy in order to keep the security from the island going. Nevertheless, we had demanded some attention. Number one, make sure you continue giving these people the decree because they're going out there, risking their life. Make sure you give them that motivation to continue doing. Number two, we also remind them of our insurance, life insurance out there. We advise them, you want me to do the job, but I don't have material. We would like to have material, and those are the things when we sit on table was convened that be done, but, election done. I mean, this pause is for you to realize that we was used before election in order to get things done. And now that election is done, it's like, let me pause, let me park KPSN, let me park justice for a while. It is not nice, it is not wise. And let me stop doing this practice. Let me just come together and know that justice is the biggest ministry in government. Know that is very important for the security of the island. Start taking it serious. That's all I have to say.
And as serious as the vehicles, the lack there of vehicles of the police, because I did notice that a new set of vehicles was just delivered recently for the ambulance department. However, I know that some vehicles were destroyed, and also it was next to nothing beforehand. So I'm sure that's also a big issue.
Yes, it is a concern, a really issue, because the concern is, Andrew, that we notice that ministry is really taking care of its people, knowing what they need, knowing what material, and it correct. Yeah. And it amazes us that, our ministry is not seeing those things, even though they know. I don't know when we're going to get material. And I think by the time we get material, other things will come up that, So I really hope, and my biggest wish is for them to really take security of this country very serious.
Final words, why Marcus Pantoflet this upcoming Friday?
Okay, well, guys, for you, those who listening, vote for unity, vote for transparency, and vote for proper representation.
This Maurice.
Yes, Andrew, I would say knowledge. Vote for the knowledge. Vote for someone who, despite everything, stand up for them. And I just want to go back when I was brought in front of the judge because they thought that there was undermining the minister back then. And when, justice was prevailed for us, also a very integrity, there is no way that I will put things that belong to the members on my side in order for my personal gain. I demonstrate that for all these years that I have been as president of the union. So those are actually what I stand for: integrity, knowledge, and transparency.
All right. The nicest interview with two opponents I've ever had.
Two nice opponents.
Yes, two nice opponents. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So which one it is? Good luck to both gentlemen. All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back more late night.
In a special news report brought to you by Real Auto BV, the official Toyota distributor for St. Martin. Real Auto St. Martin has issued an urgent safety recall for Toyota vehicles due to the Takata airbag defect. This recall affects popular models like the RAV4, Yaris, Corolla, and Hilux, manufactured between 2004 and 2013. These defective airbags pose serious risk, including severe injury or death. Toyota owners are urged to visit RealAutoSXM.com or contact Real Auto SXM immediately to schedule a free airbag replacement. Stay safe, act now.
Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV 15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the late night show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the late night show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV 15.
Thank you, TV 15. Make sure to tune in
Make sure tune in to the late night.
and Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late night.
Oh, hey, did you know I just signed up for Flex by Telem?
Do you mean flex like this?
Definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not Flex like that. Telem's Flex is a mobile plan that adapts to your needs. Each month, I get a preset monthly fee that has a set amount of data, SMS, and minutes. So I know what I'm getting. But say goodbye to overages and bill shock, because when I go over my postpaid plan, it switches to prepaid. So I have the flexibility to top up what I need when I need it. I'm in complete control. My budget, my rules.
All right, the Council of Ministers press briefing. There's some other things that happened. So, Pete, let me just give him some of the, some of the hot stuff. Question and answers. Besides Batman, please. No Batman. Because he already set the standard.
Good morning, Minister. Good morning, colleagues. You'd mentioned in the past that you're working on the road tax ordinance. So could you explain to us how much is collected based on the vehicles that we have in St. Martin, and how much is actually budgeted for in the island budget? And the Minister of Finance mentions she's working on the budget for the upcoming year. So will that budget amount change based on the fact that they're going to, I assume, lose money in the general coffer since it will go into the road tax based on the ordinance?
Yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. For the total amount collected in road tax, I don't have that figure at hand. I'll have to get that back for you. And with regard to the road repairs, the road fund, the cost for maintaining roads is held by infrastructure management. We currently have a project budgeted of 5.6 million guilders for resurfacing. And then there's a project for new surfacing, hard surfacing of existing roads that's held at New Works. With the cuts towards, with the projected move of the fund allocated for road tax towards the road fund, indeed, there will be a cut within the general government pot. And of course, with the cuts anticipated to the general budget, we are anticipating a shortage in our general operation budget for VROMI. The staff has also expressed their concerns regarding what that would mean in terms of not only operation, but also the ability to also hire. As you know, there are a number of vacancies within the ministry. The aim has been, of course, to see how we can get those filled in the medium term. Of course, with the recent cuts, that would be impacted. So one of the things that we have been working on, and I think I've said it a few times before, is there's a number of ongoing discussions between the ministry and the Dutch government regarding capacity support. That is still ongoing discussions of what we can do. But of course, the idea would be that the Dutch government would supply us with capacity, of course, with the intention that that support is also done in a way that allows for transfer of knowledge and expertise as well. With regards to the budget cuts that we are anticipating for VROMI, they are several, and we're trying to work as efficiently as we can. Because I think one of the things that we want to focus on is enhanced quality and service. So we have to see what priority areas are, and those, of course, are for the ministry, drainage and road surface quality. Those have been major challenges for a number of years. So whatever we do will have priority towards those two elements.
Perhaps I'm not clear. With the implementation of the road fund, I believe it will translate into a net drain on the general budget. How is that negative amount going to be handled in the general budget, since the Council of Ministers is in the process of making that budget now? Right? So in other words, with the road fund, more money will be allocated to the roads, which means less money will go to the general budget. How is that deficit going to be handled in the general budget?
So I think I did answer that question where I said, indeed, there will be a loss to the general budget. In terms of how we fill that gap, that has to be discussed still within the Council of Ministers.
But it will be taken up and addressed in this budget?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yep.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Bibi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Relaika. Minister Gums, when addressing the trench cleaning and all the other cleanup that is taking place, I did not hear you mention anything about the collaboration between the French and Dutch with the car wrecks. I'd like for you to give us an update on that. Also, we are in the peak of the season, like you said. What is the status of the pumps that we have at the various, in case there's heavy rain and, overflowing ponds? And if you can also tell us, there were a number of building permits that were held back when you initially took office because of review. Can you tell us how many of those permits have been executed, and if any of the permits have been retracted because of whatever reason, for it being issued?
Thank you very much, Bibi. With regards to collaboration on the French side, we are still in discussions. It's important to note that the vice president in charge of that collaboration, of that initiative, has been out due to personal reasons. And she returned to the office this week, and we are going to establish communication. Unfortunately, that communication was not able to be established due to her absence, unfortunately. So that is still something that we are very much interested in, and that we have already gotten the okay from her cabinet that she is still very much willing to have discussions around that, and we are, of course, very open to that collaboration, being on such a small island. With regards to the pumps, as you know, the pumps weren't working, and they were repaired shortly, about a month ago. Currently, what we're experiencing now is that in what is commonly called the Rummy Yard, how to explain to it, the stand at which the pipes rest on has been sinking into the pond, and we are actually busy now with a sheet piling operation to stabilize the pump, that then the water can effectively pump not only the pump 2, which is currently the one working, but also pump 1, which is still damaged. In the meantime, we have noticed already the advantage of having the pump back in place, and this afternoon there will be discussions carried out still regarding the sheet piling to sustain and support the current system that is in the Great Salt Pond. And then finally, the number of permits that were held back, and I think let's be clear, there were no permits held back. I think definitely it was for review, but every single permit that has come to the desk without much concern has been passed. The only permits that have flagged the attention of my person, the cabinet as well, are those which I indicated in the past would have a direct and heavy impact on the energy supply of the country. Those are the permits, of course, which by law of being the concession agreement of GEBE, we have to discuss with GEBE ahead of granting those permits. That has never been done in the past. I have started doing that. But every other permit has gone forward. With regards to the questionable, about the properties of concern, particularly in the Simpson Bay area, there have been a number of lob verzoeken, so that's essentially where any citizen in St. Martin can request documentation related to a permit process or any documentation within government. We have received about 3 or 4 of those requests related to properties, developments that are ongoing in Simpson Bay area, and those have been fulfilled and documentation have been handed over. Those permits, as you would recall, are not signed by me, so that I can't withhold those permits per se. Those are just permits that I have to now hand over information from. To date, I have not held back any permits. The permits are still under review, and there's a number of them, about 3 of them, I actually will be making a decision on today. And then I think that covers all your questions. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you, Bibi. Judy, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Minister, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, you just mentioned something to the effect that wrecks around the island will be picked up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know on the dump there is a very, very large section that contains crushed vehicles. Of course, this is very dangerous in a hurricane season. They can become missiles. So the wrecks that will be picked up in the control that you will be having, where will those go? And is there any sort of plan to address those wrecks that's there? And if you can also at the same time give me an indication as an update, a status update on that whole landfill project and the relocation of the residents and so forth. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, indeed. Thank you, Judith. With regards to the car wrecks, indeed, the location, just as you exit Phillipsburg towards Surrey Garden, that is where a private company on behalf of government takes all wrecked cars and crushes them, and then they are exported, usually via barge, to another country. Very recently, the company has received a barge, and you will notice a large chunk of that crushed metal has been moving out. Of course, we do have to think very long-term about what we're going to do because it's not very sustainable currently. When the picking up of the car wrecks, we've had this discussion because it is a multiple ministries involved. When it comes to car wrecks, it's immediately the matter of the Ministry of Rummy. Where do you store them? We've had discussions preliminary yesterday about possible sites, which I won't disclose now because they may cause some concern. But regarding where we can possibly put picked up wrecks, but also to, more importantly, in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, how we can support them in collecting abandoned vehicles. car wrecks can, of course, directly go towards that wreck site, but abandoned vehicles, by law, they have to remain there, or they can be picked up by the police and stored. There are challenges regarding the storage, and we're trying to see how we can support the relevant ministries as well, because, of course, island cleanliness and cars being abandoned in waste is not just a Rummy problem. It does impact everything else. So it is a very much something that we're having a discussion with regarding where we can put the new cars. And we'll elaborate on that further on, ideally by next week. Press briefing, I'll have a response for you. And then the landfill project, this has been one of the sort of monumental projects of the trust fund. There was the first emergency sort of removal of what is called the red zone, where persons have been moved from the immediate dump site for safety reasons. And what is being discussed now is basically that the landfill has reached is near reaching its sort of lifetime. There is an ongoing project from the trust fund to review exactly how long that is, because of course anecdotally we can say, oh, the dump is full, but evidence needs to be placed as to really how long is that. Have we passed that yesterday? Are we getting there next week? There is a growing concern, of course, because with the breaking down of the material and equipment from Rummy, as well as a lot of the waste. I was on the landfill actually on Monday, taking a tour of some of the issues that are there, including the equipment that's down. For every 3 days of garbage, we kind of go through at least, I would say, about maybe half of, maybe about a football length of the dump is used for in 3 days. So we have a situation here where the length of the dump is most probably much closer than we actually think it will be. And that's why, for example, we need to look at something more sustainable from a government point of view in terms of recycling, in terms of circular economy. I think it goes back to the fact, of course, of just 2 weeks ago, I signed into law, so to speak, the Waste Authority, which basically is going to look at how we manage our waste going forward more sustainably. One of the key things toward this, and it's not very popular, but we may actually have to reach the point where we start looking at how we charge for the use and disposal of garbage. Because as we know, every sort of incidence of tax is a deterrent. It's also about how we use the landfill more efficiently. Currently, there's a management system of basically we bring in trash and we cover it with dirt. And then we keep piling and piling and piling. Structurally, as many people know, the dump also has some issues around its integrity. It's actually reaching to the point where parts of it are a threat to fall in and collapse upon itself. So it's really a comprehensive approach to not only necessarily getting rid of the dump, but also to, at the local ground person level, at the you and me level, how do we address waste from a point of view of paying for it, as well as how we can use waste more sustainably as well. I'm actually planning to have a meeting with the NRPB regarding the landfill, because there, as much as we still want to maintain and organize what is there is still incoming amounts of waste, as well as illegal dumping of waste material, which shouldn't be at a dump. And also, too, goes back to the fact of there are many people who are dumping illegal construction material alongside the public roads. So again, it goes back to government has a role to guide where we go policy-wise, but that policy can only be supported if we look at our practices individually. So I call on everybody because, I live in Mary's Fancy, and just the other day I was down the hill, and the big bin says, no dumping of household appliances, and right in the big bin was a washing machine. So now government has to take this washing machine and put it on the dump via the haulers, and then when that causes a problem, everyone turns to government, forgetting that it wasn't government who put the washing machine in the bin, it was the individual. So it really has to be a sort of concerted effort to look at how we contribute to the problem that we also have on the dump, but government's responsibility to see now how we can manage and move forward more sustainably.
That is it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. Bye-bye.